All right, continuing on with an issue by issue comic book review of Warren Ellis's and John Cassidy's Planetary. And we are on issue number 16, moving right along. The one before this, number 15, for those of you who can count, with me here, and issue number 16, these are very slow issues. Yet overall, I know people who love both issues very much, right? And I guess they're necessary for the entire story of Planetary to make sure that things are cleaned up and have a little bow in it and still sort of explore some genres that have influenced the comic books, right? Because, as I always say, and I think in most of these videos, uh, these are archaeologists of the impossible and the fantastic and the unknown and things. With the Planetary Foundation, Elijah Snow, Chiquita Wagner, the drummer, Ambrose Chase, Doc Brass, and all these pulp heroes and stuff that have been redefined. And every issue explores a genre. And this one comes into something that I don't know a lot about, which is fine because this story, number 16, starts out in, I guess, medieval Japan, and it ends in New York, contemporary New York. And it's sort of I wouldn't say it explores anything. We get a great action scene at the beginning of it, pages and pages of what I consider contemporary kung fu movies. People out there who are more knowledgeable than me love this book. I have ran across people who thought this was the stuff and it completely missed me because it's a fight scene at the beginning of it. In, like I said, medieval Japan, and then all of a sudden we're in contemporary New York, and we're in an office, and we're tying up some little threads of the story, if you will, going back to what we got here, and a little bit of issue 3, in my opinion. Issue 4, definitely, this character pops back up again. You can go back and look at that review for issue 4, and you can look back at issue 5 and stuff, where we get the story of Doc Brass. I believe that's the one where in the 30s there was a great battle, where Doc Brass was the only survivor, and we had archetypes of the spider, the shadow, all those great pulp heroes and stuff of the 20s and 30s, and that you find on the radio and in serials and stuff like that, right? And this one kind of cleans up with it because it's Elijah Snow again cleaning up things and wanting to know people's disavow the four and where their allegiance lie, and here's a little bit of peace to you at the same time. So it's not a real heavy issue. It's not going to be a long review. But when it comes to kung fu movies and stuff, one of the reasons, I think this is fantastic, but, I'm old school. It's Bruce Lee, okay? It's 70s old school stuff like Monkey and the Cobra's Shadow, uh, eclectic stuff like that from way back when. But when this book came out, I think this is another one that came out in 2001, maybe 2003. Excuse me, 2003. I think, if I'm remembering right, almost 2 years after the last issue. Amazing. But the contemporary kung fu movies of the time is what seems to have influenced this, and I'm talking Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Hero. I loved that movie, Hero. Okay, the kung fu movie. But that's exactly what we have. It opens up with a member who becomes part of the Hark family. One of the things about Planetary is once you really delve into this book, there's certain families that they talk about. The Leather family, the Century babies that pop up, people aging slowly, things that Warren Ellis had enmeshed in his Wildstorm work. Talking about Jenny Sparks with the Authority and Stormwatch, Eliza Snow, people who were born at the beginning of a century and they sort of become spirits of that century, and everything that happens influences or become a part of it. But the ironic thing about this book that I think to really works against it is that even though we transverse time, we start out in medieval Japan, then come into contemporary New York. Is that you can read through this book really fast and miss and not enjoy and soak in the art. What Cassidy has done in this is amazing, man. A lot of his pencils shine through here. A lot of his work that sets moods. Um, Real subtle stuff. And if you slow down, I mean, this actually has a very cinematic feel. as a movie with the widescreen panels, the layouts, the camera angles. This feels more like notes to make a kung fu movie, if you will, as we go through there. And if you slow down, you can tell the fight takes place very fast, um, much like in a kung fu movie it would. But there's a lot of motion, a lot of open spaces. The colors in this really set a mood, and you're in a movie. I mean, it just feels like it's in a movie. So if I was going to make a stretch and think about comic book things in comic things, stories and genres that influence comics and things like that, I'm kind of wondering if a stretch would be going back to the 70s and early 80s with Shang-Chi at Marvel, Master of Kung Fu with Doug Munch and Paul Galassi and Mike Zeck and all the, I don't know, Bill Manilow came on there, I think, somewhere at one point. So maybe that's where we're at with it and stuff, right? But like I said, it just sort of is Elijah Snow remembering things, taking everything in the past that he knows about, and setting a plan to go after the four. And he's making people pick sides, is what it comes down to. And he gives this woman, in the last issue, he gave Ambrose Chase's wife and child, made them independently wealthy to right the wrongs of the past that were ignored. And in this one, he brings this woman peace with about how her father died. And she gets reunited with this character, as I showed in a previous issue there, Planetary. A little bit of closure. We'll just leave it there. So basically, that's what that book is. A real quick review on that one, because basically it's just cleaning up some threads and kind of letting us know a little bit more about this character of Elijah. Righting the wrongs, what his plan is. And he just flat out tells the woman that his plan is to take down the four, get all the technology and the great things that they've hidden, and what Planetary's discovered and what they've had, and just give it to the world and then step away. Be excellent to each other.